this one. Yeah, Sveno Mick here. I'll just wind up this window. Now, the whole of the east coast of Australia is locked down on COVID-19 bar Queensland. Queenslander! Just had to do that. So clearly Anastasia, Palaszczuk and the whole team aren't doing a bad job with us fellow Queenslanders, because all of the COVID we've had in Queensland's bloody imported, but not saying from New South Wales, but knuckleheads coming back into the country and whatever else. Out gallivant all around the countryside, high heel heifering, and all of a sudden they want to get back to Australia because it's safe. Well, I suppose I'd want to do the same, so probably can't say too much, but here we are. Not pointing up too steep, eh? Can't see the street. Here we are coming in the main street of Maleny, so it's the 22nd of August 2021, Sunday. And as you can see, driving down here, whilst I'm patrolling with my head, going left to right, I'll see if I actually can see anyone I know in this main street. This old cruiser in front of us looks like she's got a V8 in it, just looking at the two pipes out the back. Have a look at this, twin pipes. But yes, it's definitely a V8 rumble there, I think. So anyhow, I'm just driving down the street to see if I know anyone, because I'm a 58.5 year veteran of Maleny of my 58.5 years, and I've not yet seen a single soul I know. So it's clearly all tourists or people, new Malenyites. My hunch is the majority of these people are tourists. And keep going and keep going. LGJ, that Porsche. And there's obviously a few people running around here with a bit of money too. But just have a look at this, would you? So we're coming to the little roundabout at Tesh Park. Ooh, big V8 cruiser, double cab. And we have ourselves a carnival. Bloody shocking, isn't it? But yes, the little town is a-humming. So I'm just going to go for a drive out towards Mary Cairns Cross Park, and then probably go down to Landsborough and get a coffee down there, because the chance of getting a coffee around here just about being impossible. And yeah, so now all the traffic thins out as we're coming to the end. New servo here. It's definitely knocking around the old servos, and the one I go to, it's definitely knocking them around, because I asked them, and a lady I know that works there, for years, she said I was the first customer in 2 hours. It was last Sunday. I was getting mower for the fuel for the mower and the little business and the car, and she just said, "Oh, she said, apart from you coming through, there's done nothing for 2 hours." So it's a bit of a pity. Yeah, so what we're doing here, this might be a great thing if this was still the old Landsborough Maleny Range. The use of this was stopped in the 70s, and this was one half of the road you used to have to contend with when you were coming up the coming or going down to Landsborough, going up to Maleny or going down to Landsborough. This was the road. I remember this road extremely well, and look, to be fair, it wasn't much wider than it is here now, except you had your mud on each side of the road when it'd get wet. But it was smoother than it is now, because it's maintained just about to nil, which is a real pity, because it's a nice little scenic drive. I could actually make a nice little hill climb up here, I reckon. So I'm not going to do much on this, but all you hear is we're going down, and all state forest on the left, as I understand it. Actually, I think it's a little national park. The likes of your culverts here or your crossover pipes are all falling in. There's another one down here. So we're going down around the Horseshoe Bend here now, and what we used to call the Horseshoe Bend. So there's the road back just up there. So we've just come down round complete 180, and yes, this is a national park. There's the signage. Don't even know the name of it. But I don't know if it hooks up to Delata, I wouldn't be sure. But I think there's another culvert down here that's maybe worse. I'm not sure. We'll just go down here. Just want to show you a little piece of interest down here. That's a little bit further on. And it's actually a little cave. I'd never been into the little cave. I think a lot of the weeds and everything are covered it back over now, but we'll be down at it in a minute. Went and had a look at that big house back there on the right. A few of us were thinking about buying it a fair few years ago. Went in and had a look inside it, and I can't remember the price. I think it was high threes. It'd be a dead giveaway now. So just around this corner here. So I'd say most of this would have been done by hand. Most of this, maybe early machines, real early machines. But a lot of it would have been horse and cart, I think. So your little cave is back up in here somewhere. I think it's back up in there. Around there somewhere anyhow, I'm not 100% sure. But that's a bit of the old Landsborough Range. I just want to show the bottom half. And then you've got the Mount Melyn half is on the top side, and that was done in the late 70s or maybe early 80s. Yeah, so me back again, Sveno Mick, Carl's and it. We've just been out for a nice little drive. So we're in the second half, we're on the Mount Melyn. We're on the Mount Melyn part, or the last part of the range to be cut out, the old Landsborough Maleny Range. So we've just come from Mount Melyn. We've come up through Lower Mount Melyn up to Mount Melyn, and we've cut into the old Landsborough Maleny Range. Now this here is maintained because there's a fair few houses along here. This was in the 1980s, but I reckon probably early 1980s. The other one was probably 70s. And this was definitely in the early 1980s. They stopped using this because we had the last part up near Wiles livestock transport done. So this when it was the mainly used road, there was always a lot of land slips and rocks and that formed down the drains. It's actually, when it gets very wet up here, this whole area down on the bottom side of this, not so much here, but on the first part of it, at the second part on the second steep hill, at the bottom part of that, where you turn off and branch onto this now, on the Landsborough side of it, all in around the level area there, it's slippy, and it's also it's a puggy clay area, so it's constantly rocky, float of rocks and everything. It's always on the move. So here we are now. We're coming out to I just better put the foot into this bad boy. Geez, these things go good. These 4-litre Falcon motors. So now we've come out of there, and we're on the top end of the last section to have been done from the old Maleny Range. So coming up here, and the next turn left, which we're not going up, is Ball Knob Road. It takes you through to Peachester. That's that road there to the left. So that goes in there, and then we've got Bald Knob, which is that hill there, which I know is Bald Knob. And then to the right here, we've got the road that takes you around the back of the old quarry. So that's Hovard Road. And just up past here, here's where you'll see me regularly of a morning. Pulled up here getting a coffee off Coffee Pete. Coffee Pete, the coffee man. And then we're coming into what I know as the ice box, or what's known as the ice box. Believe it or not, this used to move a lot. they've spent a lot of money in here. They've actually turned it into a nice bit of road through here. Down over on the left here, that's called the Old Farm. I know the family that used to be in there that were share farmers were the Weslings. Were the Wesling family. That was years ago when I was a kid. And now it's a wedding venue. That wedding venue apparently really nice. So what we're doing is we're coming in through here. They've just done a heap of maintenance work in here. There's the old dairy. I thought we called it the Old Farm, but it's the old dairy. And in through here on the right hand side, they've just fixed up all this fence that catches all the rocks, and there was a massive amount of devil's figs that growing all up, so they've taken them out and fixed the fence, but the fence has been rolled again there on the right, only about a week after they've just finished fixing it all. So I don't know how you crash cars in here. For the life of me, I don't know how you crash cars in here, but they do manage to do it. So here what we're doing now is we're coming out of the ice box, and there's Hobart Road. So that's the western side of Hobart Road, or Hobart Road. And you can drop down to Malula that way. So what we're doing here now is we're just heading into Maleny. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it off at that. That's just our little Sunday drive. So Sveno Mick from Sveno Mick out.